Yo, what is up? Happy Sunday, man. Happy freaking Sunday. It's your boy Sterling. I'm still under the weather. That's why you probably haven't seen or heard from me in a week or so. I've been dealing with the flu, but I wanted to come in here and talk some Bills and Patriots, man. Big time win today for the Buffalo Bills, who got a got a little help from the Ravens. Now we're going to talk about the Bills' playoff hopes. We're going to talk about Josh Allen's MVP run might have come to an end today, thanks to Lamar Jackson. But man, what a day it is to be a Bills fan. And the game didn't go necessarily how we all planned and hoped for. That's for damn sure. There's still some inconsistencies with this passing game, man. Still some inconsistencies, but we're going to talk about all that. Sean McDermott getting in the way again, I feel like. But this is a time to be happy. We're going to be happy today. We got the dub. We're feeling good. You should be feeling good. It's New Year's Eve, and we start 2024 tomorrow, man. So you're listening to the Intentional Grounding vidcast feed here, right here on the Buffalo Rumblings. This is the post-game show, and it's good to be back in here, man. It feels real nice to be back in here. The Bills came out and they took care of business. Now, leading into this game, looking at the spread this morning, 14 points, right? You look at that and you go, yeah, man, the Bills are 14 points better than the New England Patriots. They are. If you would ask me earlier in the year when the Patriots beat the Bills, I would have told you the same thing. But, the NFL has been a funny person, because things just kind of take off and things kind of get wonky. And I felt like it was going to do that today. Opening the game up, you had that 98-yard kickoff return touchdown by Jalen Reagor. That dude, let me tell you something, man. That dude hadn't done anything all year. He ain't done nothing all year, and he gets a 98-yard touchdown return. Another blunder by Matthew Smiley. I don't know. It's been a tale of two polar opposite results in terms of special teams, where last year you had one of the best special team units in the league. This year, the Bills don't look that great on special teams, and that's a big area of concern moving forward. Punting, Sam Martin was great punting today, but you just don't have the same confidence as you once had in the special teams, like it did last year. And I think, today it reared its ugly head. Now, it didn't lose us a game, right? Which I'm glad I can come in here and say it didn't lose us a game. But you should be concerned about what the Bills showed on tape in terms of special teams. But outside of that, I never really thought Bailey Zappi would give me any. He doesn't scare me at all. Even if Mac Jones was in there, like the New England Patriots offense is it's not that good. It's not that good. They're around the towards the bottom of the league in a lot of statistical categories. No playmakers on the outside or wide receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster was out. So I was feeling good coming into this game, man. So I thought, okay, the Bills are 14 points better. I expect them to beat them by at least 14 points. But that didn't happen today. And we're going to talk about why it didn't happen. So just like any week, I like to go and check out the box score, because I feel like, again, I always say, the box score kind of tells the story of the game, or it kind of gives you some clues into what took place. But before we do that, how about them freaking Dolphins, man? How about them Dolphins, y'all? Good googa mooga. The Miami Dolphins, for everyone out there who had issues with the Dolphins in terms of them beating a team with a winning record, like last week against the Cowboys, I was talking to one of my dogs, and I said, look, I don't really give them credit for that win last week, just because the Cowboys, everybody knows the Cowboys don't really play well on the road, but a win is a win. But how they came out today against the Ravens will tell me a lot about this team. And Miami's 4-4 on the road this year. Okay. And they came in and they really shit the bed today. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 321 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, that he won the MVP today, y'all. He won the MVP today. But some news and notes coming out of that Dolphins game. Bradley Chubb, he's not going to be available next week for the Bills. So if you're looking for some hope in terms of one of their better pass rushers, they don't have Jalen Phillips either. Um, that's a huge loss for the Dolphins. He got injured in the fourth quarter with like 4 minutes left when they were already losing by 30 points. Already losing by 30 points. Mike McDaniel had to answer questions after the game, and he said, if I knew he was going to get hurt, I wouldn't have had him in the game. And I think at some point, that does fall on your head coach when you're down by 30. Like, what are you trying to preserve here? Your image? Are you trying to save face? Are you trying to stick it to your team and say, hey, you come out here and you play like crap, then you're going to play the whole game at least. So, I mean, I don't know. Players are going to play. But, yeah, I think he really hurt his team. He really hurt his team. Tua went out today as well with a shoulder. He says he's going to be fine from coming into next week. So they will have Tua, but they will be missing another key piece on that defense. And that's what we know on the surface. So we'll see how everything kind of plays out. But how about it? The Dolphins and the Bills will play for the division in Miami next week. We don't know what time that game is, but man, what a turn of events, boys and girls, man, ladies and gentlemen. We have everything that you hoped and wished for this season in terms of what the stretch, the stretch run. Hey, we're here. We are freaking here because the Bills can come in here. They can come in Miami and handle them boys. I really do think the Bills are. I mean, the Bills are the current favorite in that game. They have to be. The Dolphins really haven't shown anything, that you're like scared of. I mean, obviously Tyreek Hill, that passing game is lethal, but the Bills got Daquan Jones back today, and boy, and I haven't watched the all 22 yet because it's not out. But the presence of Daquan Jones back in his defense is a welcome sight to see, because let me tell you what it does. It allows you to free up Ed Oliver one-on-one. And we know Ed Oliver he's been a wrecking ball of a player this year for the Buffalo Bills in that defensive line interior. And I'm telling you, he had a hell of a game today. He had a hell of a game today. So Daquan Jones looked to be back 100%. And I can't wait to dive into the all 22 to kind of tell the story to see what his impact was really. But the Bills, man, they played well. Gouda Buddha says the script is written. Hey, if the script is written, can that script include the Bills winning the Super Bowl? I'd be okay with that, watching that sitcom play out. I'd be okay watching that show play out. Give me the Bills in the Super Bowl. Look, I feel like Josh Allen said he's going to be okay. So I already went over that. He had that little stinger on the opposite shoulder that has been ailing him all season. Josh is going to be okay. So from all accounts, it sounds like the Bills are coming out of this game pretty damn healthy. And I love it. So let's go to the Buffalo Rumblings post-game script here, as we'll call it. The box score. Bailey Zappi on the day, 16 of 26, 209 yards, 8 yards per reception, 3 interceptions. And boy, those 3 interceptions in the first quarter. The Bills really put on a clinic in that first quarter. You saw the first interception by Ed Oliver on a tip pass by Rasul Douglas. Not only did Ed Oliver catch that, but he caught that bad boy one hand. Ed Oliver was amazing. The second one was, on the in-breaking route, thrown to Rasul Douglas. I mean, look, and Rasul Douglas got another interception. So Rasul Douglas definitely getting defensive MVP today. And he balled out. But Bailey Zappi, I mean, they kept him on his toes. One of the things that, for as much as everyone wants to say about Sean McDermott, when it comes to young quarterbacks, he really does like call good games against young quarterbacks. Like you gotta give him his flowers there, because Bailey Zappi, I mean, the coverage, the changing the pitcher post snap, in terms of coverage wise, and just the blitzing, through the A gap on the edges. I mean, these guys, the Bills were relentless with the blitz. They got Bailey Zappi down 3 times, so 3 sacks, losing 18 yards on that. Bailey Zappi was 47.3 quarterback rating today. That's pretty bad. Um, so they were really able to get a little bit physical with these wide receivers, meaning that they don't really have anything. They got Devontae Parker. He had a nice catch on the sideline, but outside of that, they have nothing. And pardon me today, y'all. I know my voice sounds like a mess, but I'm trying to get through this. But I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. So I appreciate it. I didn't want to go another week without coming in here, even though I might not be here in here the whole hour today, but I am getting better. So my voice is coming back. New England rushing the ball, 24 carries, 103 yards. They fared pretty well on the ground overall. I mean, I think this is inflated by Bailey Zappi's 5 carries, 37 yards and a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott had 2.8 yards per carry and a touchdown. Like the Bills up front, they controlled this game at the line of scrimmage. And that's a welcome sight to see. You want to see your defensive line playing this well, your defense overall playing this well, when it matters most in the season, you know. Um, Receiving the ball, Kevin Harris, running back, had that 50-yard run on a screen pass. And if you looked at the first New England game, they did hit the Bills up on a couple screens that kind of broke the game open a little bit. Namely, the one that got them towards the end zone, the touchdown on the first game, to the Ramondre Stevenson. But today they had a couple screens, and you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, but I was a little disappointed that they didn't do it more. As much as aggressive as the Bills were defensively, I felt like to help your young quarterback, they should have utilized the screen game a little more, and they just didn't. So, but they did get a couple were pretty successful. Jalen Rager had a nice catch on the sideline against Christian Benford, who failed to locate the ball. I think they said something like that was like Jalen Rager's 12th catch of the season or 6th catch of the season. Like Jalen Rager has been a supreme bust. But outside of that, man, the Bills pretty much hemmed these boys up. They really didn't do anything in the air. And it was nice to see. Nice to see. Alex Austin, former Buffalo Bill, draft pick this past season, 1 interception. He got Josh. He caught Josh Pekin on that deep ball to Dalton Kincaid. So kudos to Alex Austin, man. He got himself a pick. But, man, this game is about the Bills. It's about the Bills, man. The Bills, they didn't play their best game today. This was Josh Allen's worst outing this season. Well, I would say it's probably his worst outing this season. If you're looking at from the first game of the season against the Jets, this one was pretty mediocre, pretty bad. I mean, he was 15 of 30, 169, no touchdowns, 1 pick. His accuracy was off today, y'all. A lot of the pass game inefficiencies were because of Josh Allen today. A couple on the offensive line allowing pressure on the interior, but it was you knew Bill Belichick was going to come in here. He was going to blitz, and Josh, I felt like, didn't live up to the standard that we needed him to have. Now, I think there's good news with this. One, if that's his bad game, get it out of the way. Get it out of the way. This week of practice, you guys really kind of figure it out. Try to establish some rhythm on the offense, right? And you go out there and you ball out from here on out. Like if that's your bad game, then have it now, because he just was off the mark today. He had a deep ball to Stephon Diggs that he should have had. It would have been a 92-yard reception, probably a touchdown. That he kind of sailed on Diggs. He had another one that hit Kyle Duggar in the back because he didn't put enough air under it. Now he was rolling right, throwing to the middle, which is ill-advised, but Josh Allen can make those plays. Good Gouda says O line was bad today. The O line interior was just, that has some struggles today. Christian Barmore is a hell of a defensive tackle. He was able to get some pressure up the middle. Lawrence Guy. I mean, look, New England doesn't have like standouts on defense, but they're technically sound. Their defensive linemen are technically sound, and they do everything the right way. And so we saw that. And so Mitch Morris and Connor McGovern was getting work today. So yeah, I kind of agree with that. RJ, man, what's going on, RJ? He says the defense scheme worked if the offense did literally anything outside of 1.5 drives. Also, Matthew Smiley needs to be fired 3 weeks ago. Yeah, Matthew Smiley has been trashed this year, man. I mean, I can't even help the dude. I can't even. He's been awful, dude. He's been awful. Michael says, first of all, New England has been doing that to everybody's offensive line. Yeah, that defensive line is good. They're good, man. They can get established pressure up the middle. Um, they get those guys have heavy hands and they're gonna move people out of the way. So they play well. Like I ain't gonna take nothing from those guys. So listen, if this is your bad game for the offense this week, then get it out of your system because next week, man, the Ravens put up 50 on them boys. You got to put at least 30 on the Dolphins. You got to put up 30 on the Dolphins this week, man. So Josh Allen, we need Josh Allen to be firing on all cylinders because today he sucked. Josh Allen sucked today, and that's my dog. But let's call it how it is, man. Josh Allen was not, and this has been going on for the last 3 weeks. You're seeing drop balls. We saw a slew of drop balls in the first quarter. Josh Allen started off 0-6. 3 of those were drop passes, and then the rest of them were threw it away once, and then he was off on the other two. Right? The accuracy wasn't there. I don't know if it was a footwork. I have to look at the all 22 to see like why he was missing some of those passes that he missed today. But Josh is a great player, so I expect him. I expect this offense to bounce back next week. I would like to see Stephon Diggs get more involved in this offense because right now, today he had what did he have? 4 catches, 26 yards. That's not going to cut it. But again, Stephon Diggs struggling, and it's not just Diggs. I think it's Ken Not. Oh, sorry, I'm not calling that man Ken Dorsey, but he looked like Ken Dorsey today. Joe Brady, he's got to scheme guys open. I felt like it was better in the second half, but they have to go to the drawing board and figure out why your best player in offense outside of Josh Allen isn't producing. You have to scheme him open. You have to put him in positions to succeed, what his strengths are. And I don't feel like they're doing a good job of that right now. But let's talk about the ground game. James Cook, 16 carries. I like the usage here. 48 yards, even though it was only 3.3 yards per carry. I feel like there was a lot of meat left on the bone for James Cook. He just couldn't hit it, couldn't break it out. Josh Allen, 11 carries, 44 yards, and then Ty Johnson, 5 carries, 22 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. Josh had 2 touchdowns, by the way. It looked pretty good. It looked pretty good. We saw Joe Brady utilize Khalil Shakir. Well, Khalil Shakir was kind of a broken play on the option there, and Josh Allen ill-advised, threw it back to him, and it worked. But we saw Stephon Diggs with a 5-yard carry in the red zone there. I like that. I like that, but I'd rather see Stephon Diggs catching passes. Overall, 37 carries, 127 yards, 3.4 yards per carry. And I want to make sure everybody knows that New England has one of the better run defenses in the league. So I think that's a pretty good statistical output for this game for the Bills here. Receiving the ball, Dalton Kincaid led receivers with 4 catches, 87 yards. He had that 151-yard reception, which was great. I feel like, man, you got to use that stiff arm, buddy, because you should have been in the end zone on that play. But that was that post that they were running, that concept, they ran that a few times this game, and in the third quarter he finally found Dalton Kincaid on that one. So I like it. I like that. I was what I was really excited about. They opened the game play action. and he got sacked. Opened the game on the play. I was like, oh, play action. And then boom, he got hit. He got hit, man. I thought the game was going to go off the rails at that point. But they bounced back. But I don't know, man. If you ask me, like, do I feel like the passing game is it going to be the downfall of this team this season in the playoffs? Because you got to be able to throw the ball. You got to. I mean, and I'm thankful that the Bills can run the ball successfully. That's great. But you're gonna have to find more balance in the pass game because you're gonna need to be able to do that. You're not gonna be able to just run the ball in the playoffs. Now, listen. Oh, here we go. Here we go, y'all. You're more get in here. You are more than welcome to jump on in here. Don't be capping. Oh, Spence over there capping. He I even told him when I was going live. He tripping, y'all. Don't pay him no attention. But Khalil Shakir, second half, he looked good. I liked his ability to beat zone coverage, and he was able to find the open area in the zone and sit there and make catches. Like you're gonna need Khalil Shakir to do that. You're gonna need it because I think he's a very integral part of the offense moving forward in the playoffs. I mean, in my opinion, he's taking the place of Gabe Davis. I know Gabe Davis is still needed, but Khalil Shakir is a more efficient player than Gabe Davis right now. It's not even close. It's not even close. I'm gonna tell you who doesn't need any snaps. Trent Sherfield, man, get him out of here. Start a petition, ring the bell, sound the alarm because Trent Sherfield is buns. Like I don't understand. This man has what his role is in this offense, but man, he hurts the team. He's a net negative on this team. Doesn't catch the ball, doesn't separate. He's trying to let balls come to his chest. Like you're gonna have to win at the catch point at some point, man. Like that stuff is that's not acceptable. Trent Sherfield is buns. Sorry. Um I can't handle it. I cannot handle it. Gabe Davis today, 2 catches, 21 yards on 3 targets. So the target share today was Kincaid led with 7. Well, no, Kincaid and Diggs with 7. And then Khalil Shakir with 4 targets, Gabe with 3, Latavius Murray 1, and Trent Sherfield 3 targets, and he was a zero burger today. Get him off the field, man. Get him off the field. But I do think, Kincaid, Shakir that's your bread and butter moving forward in the playoffs. And you're just gonna have to hope and pray that you get something from Stephon Diggs. But those are the guys that the passing offense should run out of. And I think as soon as they realize that Khalil Shakir is your best receiver outside of Diggs, the better off they'll be. The better off they'll be when they really realize that Khalil Shakir can ball. He has good hands. He can run routes, and he's hard to bring down. He is hard to bring down. So, I really liked what he was able to add to the offense and what he's been doing this whole season. So, a guy that I didn't think was going to make the team, he's coming out and he's looking the part. So, kudos to him. Josh had 2 fumbles today. The second one almost cost us. It was trash. It was trash. He had no business doing that. But the offense overall, the run game was good. The pass game needs some help. We need to see more play action passing. Hopefully that's something that we see in the Miami game. We've been asking for it all season. Right now, the Bills are like 26%, I think, in terms of play action pass. That needs to be high 30s, upper 40s even. You need more play action pass because now you have a respectable run game, right? So you need to keep those linebackers in, right? Keep those DBs looking in the backfield to give your wide receivers a little bit more time to separate and to get down the field where Josh Allen succeeds and throws the ball, which is down the field. So I like. Let's talk about the defense now. Man, you talk about balling out. Look, Terrell Bernard. The man had 10 total tackles, 8 solo. That's That's pretty good, man. 8 solo tackles. He had 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. The way Sean McDermott was using him to blitz, chef's kiss. It looked pretty good, man. It looked pretty good. Um, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Spin says doesn't look like the Bills clinching the playoffs this week. They won't, and none of us should expect it Bills to get to the play. Oh, look who we got now. Look who it is. Jay Smith's
See,
the king.
I'm just saying because you lied. You lied on air. You lied on air.
Ain't nobody lie on there, dog.
Bruh, I wasn't even gonna jump in because honestly, I called you and I was gonna
Y'all
fall
hear him?
back. No, I'm just saying because I called you and I was gonna fall back, but you lied on air like I was gonna lie. See, y'all hear him coughing? Y'all hear him dying on air? I called him to say, "Hey, yo, I know you've been dying all week. You haven't been hydrated. You've been killing yourself. If you need someone to fill in for you, I will." But I've been looking to get on the post game show. He said, "No, I got you, dog. You good, man. I appreciate you looking out. Holla. Have a good day." I said, "All right, man. Love you." He said, "Love you too. Bye." And that was the end of it. Now he gonna get on the show. He gonna go live and make it seem like I'm just lying and I'm out here talking stuff. Don't
He
be
is.
lying on the kid, man. I'm trying to hold you down. I love you.
The Buffalo kid is capping, y'all. He's capping. that's
What's
my
good,
that's
Sterling for the girls?
hey, that's my dog over there. That's my brother.
That's my
Hey, 10
dog. My
toes down. I
dog.
do anything for that dude over there, man. That
Anything for
dude,
my dog.
he's seen he knows the worst parts of me, seen the worst parts, and that's why I love him, man. That's my dog right there. I do anything for
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Um, real quick though, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that offense, man? Because that offense, hey, it was kind of trash today. Not gonna lie, man. They had so many trips from turnovers that they got in plus territory, and they could not get it in the end zone, man. It looked pretty bad.
It's frustrating, because on one hand, it's like for the last 4 or 5 weeks, we all want to give compliments to Joe Brady and we want to say how the offense has improved and we look so much better and Josh is looking this way and James, the run game, James Cook is cooking and all this stuff, right? We want to say it, all this stuff
Yeah.
every single week. And then you go against the Patriots in a game where you feel like the Bills, just like the first matchup against the Patriots, in a game where you feel like the Bills should win by multiple scores, they
Mm-hmm.
make it difficult on themselves. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, do we start to look at this as like, is this something that the Bills are doing to themselves, or is this something that it's really a concern? Because like going into the playoffs, do teams know how to, do they know how to game plan against the Bills? Do they know what the weaknesses are, whether it's Joe Brady or Ken Dorsey? I don't know, but the thing is, it's frustrating when going into this game, we're better than the Patriots, top to bottom. Like literally, you go room to room. We're better. We're better.
Yeah.
But we win this game this way. It's frustrating. So yeah, for me it's an issue, and I think I'm more nervous about. I'm not nervous about week 18. I'm nervous about the playoffs because I
Mm-hmm.
think we can beat the Dolphins. But what I think is when we hit the playoffs, what's going to happen is you're playing against teams that have good coaches and good teams, and they know how
Right.
to game plan. So if this is the side where it's like, well, no, we don't know how to get teams to game plan differently, and they figure it out. That's a concern for me because there was no reason why the Patriots should have been this close at all.
Yeah, no, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And the crazy thing is that not only will the Bills be playing for the division, they'll be playing possibly for the number 2 seed. Now, you would need the Browns to lose next week, but it's a big time game, man. It's a big
Mhm.
time game. I'm not worried about the game. I think the Bills will handle them boys. Like, I'm not worried about that. But like you said, though, it's the playoffs, and it seemed like how are all these teams so successful at taking digs away? That's what I want to know. And it falls on Joe Brady.
So okay, and that's fair. But to me, so I was actually going to ask you this after your show. So you feel like teams have been scheming Diggs away. You don't think that the Bills just haven't been getting Diggs the ball. So because for me, I look at it like, yo, the Bills, they haven't been doing their job at making sure Diggs gets the ball. Diggs is not the type of player where you have to scheme open. He is open. And I know
Mm-hmm.
like games like today, it's like the Patriots have a really good, and they do. Don't let the record fool you, listeners and watchers. The Patriots have a really good defense. So what they did today, you got to give them credit. It's not that the Bills suck. It's not that Stephon Diggs sucks. But my question to you is, you feel like Diggs struggled getting open versus I don't know. I don't even know how I
Yeah.
want to ask this because to me, I feel like
No,
Diggs got
I think
open.
I know what you're asking. Like, he's been struggling to get open recently.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is. He just hasn't been dominant in terms of beating man coverage when it's presented. And then you mix that in with like the passing coverages that are placed on him, and then the route concepts that Joe Brady's given him. Like, I feel like Joe Brady needs to cook in some more option routes for Diggs, more throws kind of around the line of scrimmage to get the ball in his hands. Now, when they tried to do that today, it was a holding call. And, Diggs after the catch is really good, but they gotta, not that he needs to be schemed open, but he needs to be the primary receiver on these plays, and I don't feel like he is. And then Josh, it falls on Josh too, because when Diggs does win, Josh isn't hitting him, and that's a problem. We saw that today.
Yeah, but I guess okay, you're right. Like everything you just said there, I can't debate at all. But I guess overall, to me, it's like a lot of times, like when I'm talking or I'm debating people about this whole thing, like the thing I
Mhm.
started off with about Diggs. Diggs is open, man. Like I don't think Diggs, like there may be a play or two or three during a game where he may not be the best version of himself where he's open. We can argue about everything else about the offense and where they struggle and
Sure.
where Josh isn't Josh, but Diggs is Diggs has no problem getting open. And by open, I mean NFL standards of open. Like there are times where Diggs will get a step and in the NFL, you get a step on a guy, you're open.
You're open.
Diggs gets a step or two. Diggs get two steps or three. Like he's the guy that he's always open. So when like I even had people arguing in my mentions today, well, no, when Diggs is open, bro. I don't know what you watching. I don't know how y'all watching the same thing I'm watching because I see throws like I see plays every single time where Josh could fit it in there, and instead he's forcing it somewhere else. Where it's like, but I guess that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah. And it's not just Diggs. It's Gabe Davis too. Now, Gabe Davis doesn't
Mm-hmm.
get open, but there was a play, two plays I saw today where Gabe is open and he ain't throwing the ball. There was a deep slant that he kind of missed Shakir on the RPO. Um, like Josh wasn't playing good ball today. When we look at all 22, we're going to see in a lot of missed opportunities. So I don't know, man. It's a culmination of Joe Brady like giving Josh what he's comfortable with. I don't think he's doing a good enough job at that. Um, and then Josh's execution. I mean, how many weeks in a row have we talked about Josh missing open guys for big plays down the field? He's like choosing to turn it down, and it's concerning. Can't do that in the
Well,
playoffs.
you know what's concerning me more though? It's not that he's missing him, it's how he's missing him. Like cuz I feel like okay, today we got to see an overthrow, right? It was like the
Mm-hmm.
first overthrow that we got to see from Josh and forever. And when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen who has the arm that he has, and we talk about why you draft a guy like Josh to come to Buffalo. The last 3 weeks, last week especially, I can give you 3 plays in the first quarter, a play in the second quarter. I can give you plays from this week, give you plays from the game before that, where he overthrew Diggs, overthrew Davis, overthrew uh Shakir. So when it comes to a guy like Josh, and you're not over, but you're underthrowing. And I'm sorry I said that wrong. So for everybody listening,
No, I
I
got
can show
you.
you plays where he underthrew all of those guys versus overthrowing them. So now I can show you all these plays when you have a guy with the strongest arm in the league. And okay, and I see Gouda Buddha in the comments saying footwork. I see other people saying different things, and that's fine. It could be all of those things. But whether it's tunnel vision, whether it's footwork, whether it's like regardless of what it is, a quarterback like Josh Allen shouldn't be underthrowing anybody. You get what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
if he's off when it comes to accuracy, cool. That's one of those things where it's like, you know what, you're right, I got you. He got to be more accurate. But when you draft a quarterback with an arm like that, to me, there should never be a conversation of saying, why were there 3, 4 underthrows?
Underthrows. Yeah, Josh is trying to he's trying to fit it in. He's overthinking it, man. That's why
Yeah.
you're underthrowing it, because you're overthinking it.
And
Plain
I
and
can't even
simple.
blame that on Brady. You can't blame that on Brady.
Nah. He's got to play better. And you know what
Yeah.
else is hampering this offense, man? They don't have a like Shakir is solid. He's okay, right? But they don't
I
have
like
another
him.
receiver that can separate and make defenses be honest. Like they don't have another threat on the outside of Diggs, and that's a problem. You're
What do you
seeing,
mean?
yeah, you know it. They ain't got it.
No,
They
I'm
don't
not,
have another. They
what do you mean, man? Davis he's a wide receiver too. Gabe Davis is a wide receiver 1B. What are you talking about, Sterling?
right. I know.
What are you
I know.
talking about?
I know. It's crazy.
Josh
He's so good.
Allen. Josh Allen told me that Gabe Davis wasn't a wide receiver 2. He told me that Gabe Davis was a wide receiver 1B. So what are you talking about, Sterling? You saying that Gabe Davis ain't, you mean we need another receiver? What do you mean we need another receiver? What do you
Gabe
mean?
Davis ain't a 2 or 3.
God,
He ain't a 1, 2, or 3. That man's a 4. He
yikes.
is your wide receiver 4. Gabe
Yikes.
Davis should be getting what Trent Sherfield's getting in the offense.
Whew, you're gonna make me pour a shot. Keep going. I'm listening.
You're gonna need it. But
Whew.
and the Bills this
Yeah, I'm gonna need
offseason,
it. He said
listen,
you're gonna need it.
you're you're losing Gabe Davis because they're not gonna resign him. You
He
gotta
said
try Trent
he said you
Sherfield
gonna
is
need it.
buns. Deontay
Buns,
Hardy is buns.
cheeks,
So
cheeks. Go ahead.
you got 2 wide receivers on the roster next year. You got Khalil Shakir and Stephon Diggs. That's your wide receivers next year. You're gonna have to draft 2 receivers. You got to. You need 2 receivers. You need a defensive tackle,
Mm.
and you need a safety.
Whew. You know
That's what
the
you're gonna need.
problem? The problem with what you're saying is you're gonna need 2 safeties. You're gonna need 2 wide receivers. You're gonna need so you're talking everything right. Everything you're saying is proper, man. But you're gonna need double that because the thing is we don't just need to replace Jordan Poyer. We need to replace Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. And
Yeah.
with me saying that we need to replace Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, I'm not dogging my dog. Y'all know I love Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. I love both of them. I love both of them. Guess what? They old, man. And Jordan, I love him. We got to replace him. Micah, I love him. We got to replace him. So talk how you want to talk about that. Then you talk about Trey White. Guess what? We got to replace him. Okay. You say
go.
we just traded for Rasul Douglas. Yeah, we did. Guess what? Okay, so we need a wide or a cornerback 2. Because if y'all happy about the cornerback 2 situation that we have, because everybody, before we traded for Rasul Douglas, everybody was tripping because our cornerback situation was trash, right? Everybody was yelling at me about why I wasn't upset about how our first round draft pick got ate up by a wide receiver from Jacksonville. I wasn't mad about it because I understood he wasn't worth. He the place he was drafted was not in a place that was really a good. To me, it wasn't a good indication of who is or what his skill was, and it
Right.
wasn't. You shouldn't have been going up against the guy that. So yeah, so I just feel like we need another cornerback, we need 2 safeties, and that's just defense. We're not even talking about wide receiver. We're not talking about tight. I want to get rid of Knox. People are gonna be mad because today Knox didn't have a bad game, right? So they're gonna be like, Spence, how could you say that?
Knox was trash today.
He
was
had a
bad.
bad game.
I mean, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. Dawson Knox didn't do anything.
I'm not fighting you.
Yeah, and in the chat, so Daniel mentions Justin Shorter. Justin Shorter has not suited up for a game this season. And name the last wide receiver the Bills actually drafted and developed. Okay, you got Gabe Davis. Khalil Shakir weren't kind of figuring out, but really they haven't really done it. So they're gonna have to really hit on 2 wide receivers this year. Now, one you could draft 1, draft 2, get one at free agency, but it's a problem. And I think when we talk about if the Bills were to lose in the postseason, why would they lose? Well, it's the offense and it's wide receiver. They don't have a guy on the outside of Diggs that really earns respect.
Let me ask this: when you say that, then, because you feel like outside of Diggs, do you feel like Diggs is earning respect right now?
Nah.
So
Nope.
how are we gonna win in the playoffs? We don't have a receiver that can earn respect. And the thing is, I know Diggs can earn respect. Diggs deserves respect. But over the last 5-6 weeks, he's not putting up numbers it's not just because we're not getting him the ball. Like, it ain't like
Yeah.
Diggs is playing a perfect game and then Josh is deciding to not throw it to him. Like, I hope everybody remembers that we were complaining because Josh was forcing the ball to Steph, and that the offense felt like we were only targeting Steph at times.
Mhm.
So now we're complaining because Steph isn't getting the ball enough. I need y'all to understand, this isn't because Josh don't want to throw it to Steph. Like, Josh is programmed to look for Steph first. I just need y'all to get that. Like, this isn't coming from Spence. I'm telling you what I know. He's programmed Steph. Then after Steph,
Yeah.
okay, let's go through the reads. And if you don't believe me, you can watch a game since Stephon Diggs was traded to the Buffalo Bills. Go back and watch every single game. You'll find plays where he don't look Steph ways first, but I guarantee you, and I'd be willing to bet my entire month's check from SB Nation, Buffalo Rumblings, Vox Media, any of them things. I'll bet my whole month's check that you won't come out to a game. Any game that you watch, when you review the film, if you find more plays where Josh looks away from Diggs first, I'll give you the whole year's check. I'll give you the whole year's check. So I'm saying it to say the reason why Diggs isn't getting receptions recently is not just because all of a sudden Josh don't want to look his way or the offense is not trying to get him the ball. I need Diggs to do his job like he's been doing his job for the last several years that he's been in Buffalo. Get open and
Yeah.
get the ball. Get
Yep.
the ball.
Got to. Now it's go time. You know, like now is not the time for excuses. You know, for all intents and purposes, next week is your first round playoff game. And you got to come out and you got to beat the Dolphins, man. So, but the Bills, you know, I'm not worried about the defense, which is crazy. Like the defense is playing well. Ed Oliver is having one hell of a season again. I mean, even today, what do you have? An interception. He had a sack today.
An
Tackle for
interception was
loss. I
big
mean,
time.
bro, wasn't it?
Big time.
He's been unreal. Daquan Jones, man. I don't know if you noticed this watching the game, but the presence of Daquan Jones in his defense, man, they missed him. He was phenomenal today, man. He was good. I mean, constantly taking up two guys. I mean, two gapping. He was phenomenal. Hey, Jeremy, what's he doing? The script is confirmed.
Yeah, shout out to my dog. Shout out to my dog. Uh, but to what you're saying about the game though, like, no, you're right, man. It was like you watch that game and you look at the way everything played out, and it's like now you look at all of this, and now you look at Jeremy's tweet or his comment here. The script is confirmed. Look, it's supposed to be. This is the way it was supposed to go from week 2, week 1. We shouldn't have lost to the Jets when Aaron Rodgers went out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't have lost to the Bengals. We shouldn't have lost to Bengals. I guess you could say as a toss up. We shouldn't have lost to the Broncos.
Shouldn't even be in this position. We shouldn't even be in this position, man.
So it's
the
like
Jaguars,
this is
the Broncos, the Patriots. I mean, these are games that the Bills should have won.
Well, I love you, man, and I'm happy to be here with you now. Like, I'm happy that now we have conversation this week about the possibility of the Buffalo Bills taking the AFC East, and all we have to do is it's in our hands, and all we have to do is beat the Miami Dolphins. And I can't wait to watch the chop up with you and Jeremy, man. But I just wanted to jump in for 2 reasons. One, I just wanted to jump in from the top and say, like, yo, you was a liar. And then secondly, I just wanted to say that, man, yo, you the GOAT, man, and I love you and I appreciate you. This has been the best year of my life. It's been one of the hardest 18 to 20 months of my life, but the last year, like the last 12 months, has been the best of my life, and that's been part of because of the fact that you've been in it, man, and you've been a big part of it. You've helped me grow in ways that I couldn't imagine. And you've helped me push forward with Buffalo Rumblings and with my goal and with my career in ways that I couldn't pray for, man. So I thank you. I love you. And any way I can ever have your back, I'm saying this publicly. You my dog. I got you. Any way you need me. I love you. Happy New Year. Do your thing. I'm jumping out of here so you can't even respond to me. Bye. Love you. Bye.
That's my dog, man. He knows it's all love over here too, man. But yeah, so with that being said, I mean, let's take a before we get up out of here tonight. Before we get up out of here, you know, I wanted to go look at the New York Times playoff machine, and right now the Bills, obviously we know if the Bills win against the Dolphins, they have 100% chance to make the playoffs. Okay, but if the Bills were to lose against the Dolphins, the Bills would have a 91% chance of making the playoffs. So even though they haven't officially clinched today, they are The Bills are in the playoffs now. We just don't know what seed, right? We don't know what seed it's going to be. They could get the 2 seed, but they can get the 6 or the 7. 2, 3, 6. They could be either the 2 seed, right? If they win and the Browns lose next week, right? You could be the 3 seed if the Browns win and you win. You could be the 6. I mean, it's all over the place. There's so many different clinching scenarios. I think by the time the Bills kick off, I think they're going to play the night game on Sunday. But by that time, I think the Bills. By the time the game comes around, the Bills are already going to have a playoff spot clinched. So everything that we hope for, when we were looking down the barrel and thinking that this team might not make the playoffs, well, things kind of changed. And so the good news is that anything can happen in the playoffs. The Bills can beat anybody, right? When they're playing well, there's not a team in the NFL or in the AFC that the Bills cannot beat, right? It's just, what Bills team are you getting, and can you put it all together? You want to be playing your best football in December, January, and I look, man. I think that the Bills they're right there. The passing game, I kind of dogged the passing game today, but it's close. The Bills are very close in the passing game, and once they unlock that passing game and establish some rhythm on the passing game, they're going to be deadly to beat. You got one side of the ball figured out. Defensively, good. They were good. Sean McDermott, he was a little conservative today in some areas that I would like him to clean up. But the defense is back. They're solid. They're solid. But anyway, this is the Intentional Grounding podcast, the Buffalo Rumblings post-game show. It is New Year's Eve, man. And, with New Year's Eve, make sure that, if you're going to go party, man, make sure you do it safely. Call an Uber. Make sure, for the ladies, you send your location, right? Because, hey, man, people are crazy and they do wild stuff out there. I just want all my people to be safe, man. I want all my folks to be safe. But enjoy yourself. Have fun tonight, man. I'm still under the weather, so I'll be resting. I ain't going to be doing too much. I'm just going to be sitting here chilling, playing with the New York Times playoff machine, be looking around at some different scores. The Chiefs are beating the Bengals right now, so there's that. But with all that being said, man, peace and love, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your freaking night. So long to 2023, and bring on more good things in 2024. Again, this is Buffalo Rumblings and the Intentional Grounding post-game show, and I'm out of here.